In this video, I'm going to show you how you can retire and make up to 500% or more using leap options on Palantir. Don't worry about subscribing, liking, looking for the coaching and Discord link. Let's dive right in right now and show you guys exactly how to do this. Before we dive into this strategy and how to make money consistently with leap options on Palantir specifically, the reason you can make money quite easily with leap options is it's cheaper than owning the stock itself, making Palantir more accessible to even smaller accounts. But not only that, every time the stock goes up, the leap options go up, and then you can sell the leap options for profit. And when the stock has a pullback, you can buy into leaps again, and you're able to ride every directional move upwards with leap options, consistently and safely generating money. One of the reasons why I'm picking Palantir right now for this strategy is because they said they're starting a new project in the healthcare industry, and they have 6 new customers for their manufacturing product. Palantir said Friday it's launching an AI lab focused on healthcare financial performance. The lab is being done in partnership with R1, a revenue cycle management company that has expertise in healthcare payer-provider dynamics. The lab is expected to automate revenue cycle operations in healthcare companies. R1 serves 94 of the top 100 U.S. health systems. On Thursday, Palantir said it had 6 customers using its Warp Speed product to accelerate onshore manufacturing capabilities and improve fleet management. This is just yet another reason why Palantir is strong for this strategy. Let's dive right in. So you can see here that Palantir is working its way up. And right now, the stock is above the 100-day moving average on the 1 hour, and it's approaching on the 4 hour. The 4 hour has more confluence than the 1 hour chart. Once the 4 hour resists and is able to break through and cross over the 100-day moving average, this signifies a bullish move. So on the 1 hour time frame, we have the 10-day crossing over the 20, and they both cross over the 100. We look back at 30, it's the same thing. 15, it usually happens in that order: 1, 5, 10, 15, 30, and then 1 hour. And we're right now waiting for the 4 hour to cross over. So as we get into Monday and Tuesday of next week, this stock will make its way up, hopefully, and it will break over the 100-day moving average. But when stocks are down like this is the opportunity to buy a leap option a lot cheaper. You can also dollar cost average your leap options. So if you buy a leap option on Palantir for $3,000, let's say a strike price of $70, it's a $70 leap going out 8 months, it's $3,000. The stock drops, and now this leap option's only worth $2,000. Well, if you buy another leap option for the same expiration and the same strike price, then that leap option will be dollar cost averaged, just like shares. So you purchased one for $3,000, then you purchase another for $2,000. You now have 2 with an average cost of $2,500. This is very powerful because you can dollar cost average your leap options and continue to sell covered calls. And when the stock goes up, so does the leap option. So we know that Palantir has a lot of upside. Palantir is going to eventually make its way back up to 107, 110, 120. Meaning if you buy a leap option right now and it's a delta of roughly 70, you will be able to make a lot of profit, because for every dollar the stock goes up, a 70 delta means that the option will go up 70 cents. Without diving too deep into gamma and delta, they will go up more and more each time. After a few dollars, it'll be 73 delta, 75 delta. It'll basically move in tandem with the stock. So if Palantir goes up $40, well, then your option's going to go up very similarly. It's going to go up roughly $20 or $25, maybe a little bit more. So if you pay $3,000 for this option at 120, as an example, this option is going to be worth somewhere around $5,000 to $5,500. You basically can double your money or more just on like a $30 or $40 move, depending on the delta. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Every time the stock goes up and hits resistance or a ceiling, it looks like it's going to pull back. You have the option, literally and figuratively, to sell for a profit. And if the stock pulls back more, then you can buy more leap options to ride it up again, similar to shares. Or you can just dollar cost average and hold, which is why I like going about a year out or more when I'm selling covered calls on leap options, especially on strong stocks like Palantir. So we're going to go all the way out to around January 2026, and we're going to buy, call, and we're going to come down and look at the 80. This is a delta of 68, which is good. But every time the stock goes up, this is going to go up by $1.68. That's what the delta means. Every time the stock moves $1, the delta is how much the option will move. But gamma, on the other hand, as you can see right here, adds to delta every dollar the stock moves. So eventually the delta will be higher. If we go go $10 down. So if the stock was to move $10, you'd go from a 63 to a 76 delta, or 75.79. So if Palantir ends up at $100, well, then the delta on your $80 option would be around 82, which is really good. So I like to stay around 70. So let's look at a 65. That's a 79, almost an 80 delta. Good volume and open interest is good, which is why we chose Palantir. So on these $65 leap options, they're $3,300. This is not really indicative of what's going to happen short term. So if the stock was to go up $20, well, then this option would in turn generate between 70 cents and 83 cents per dollar. So roughly, just a rough estimate here, if the stock was to go up $20, if Palantir went from 86 to 106, your $65 option would go up roughly $12 to $15. So you'd make $1,500 per option. So if we had 10 options, then you'd make like $15,000 off of a $20 move on Palantir. So we're just going to play it safe and say Palantir goes to 100, which is $14. You'll make $1,000 per leap option, roughly. As you can see, the delta is 79, which is basically 80. So if Palantir moves $15 or $14, you're going to get about 75, 80% of that. 80%, that's what an 80 delta is. So essentially, you're only going to miss out on about $300 of that move. So the stock goes up $14 or $15, you are going to make about $1,200. So if you have, let's say, 5 leap options is going to cost $16,000, this could generate roughly $6,000 profit on a $14 move. Palantir is a very strong stock, so it could easily move $10 or $15 in a week or two. So that's what makes it very strong. So if you want to sell covered calls, now selling covered calls on these leap options, we want to find a spot of big resistance, which is right here around $100. So we would want to go out 1 or 2 weeks and sell $100 calls. What we would do is go out to next week, and we would see that $100 call option is about $33. The delta on this is 8, so it's fairly safe. But like I said, Palantir can move a lot, but in a 5-day window, a $14 move is fairly safe on the covered calls because you can always roll out and up. So let's just say we sell 5 of these and we generate $34 premium. So we're going to sell 5 of these, and that's $170. If I pull out my calculator and you sell, holy calculator, Batman, $170 a week times 4, $680 a month times, let's say, 2 months. And then you're going to add 5 leap options at $1,200 profit. You essentially could make $7,360 in 2 months on a $16,000 investment. Essentially, in 2 months, you're making like 50%. Times that by 6, that's 300% per year. This is fairly modest because we're selling very out of the money call options, short call options. If we were to sell, we'll go $10 out of the money, which is a 16 delta, which is already fairly safe. Anything under 20 delta, which this is a 16, is very safe. If we sell 5 of these, and we're going to get about 72 for it, maybe 71. There we go. So this is $355 per week. 355 times 4. This is $1,420 a month times 2, $2,840. And let's say we make about $1,000 per leap option. The stock makes its way into the 90s, and we're going to make $1,200 per leap option because that's what we would make roughly if the stock went to $95 to $100. So we'll times that by 5. We make $8,840. Okay. So if we do this, 52% times 6, because it was 2 months we did that for, this is 300% per year. And we could also play more aggressively by selling more covered calls and buying more leap options, but we're going by percentage, not amount of money here. So just on $16,000, you could triple or quadruple or even more in a year. I run this strategy personally on very bullish stocks and stocks that are of quality, and I've been able to consistently make between 100 to 200% per year on leap options on stocks that aren't as growth or as volatile as Palantir. And specifically on Palantir, I've been able to do anywhere between $250 and $400 400% per year on average with leap options, but I do this on different stocks and they all behave differently. So just keep that in mind. Now, so if you're wondering how to manage these leap options, it's very simple. As you get within 30 to 45 days of expiration, you're going to want to roll out for a debit, or you're going to want to sell them for a profit. If you intend on purchasing the shares because you've made lots of money on the covered calls, in this example, we'd be making about $680 every 2 months. So we did that for the full year. Well, then we would make about $3,800 to $4,000 by the end of the year, which pretty much covered 2 of our leap options. Then we could go ahead and exercise them and get the shares at $65, even if the stock was at $100 or $110, meaning we would be $35 in the money. I'm going to show you guys a calculator. So if Palantir was $105, we only pay $65. So which means we're $40 in the profit times 500 shares. 20,000 in profits, of course, minus the cost of buying the leap options, which was $16,000. Then we basically go ahead and add in $1,400 a month times, let's say we sold them for 11 months, $19,000 profit for the year on $16,000. So even if we wanted to keep the shares, we would still double our money and now have the shares and be able to keep selling covered calls. If we decide not to keep these shares or these leap options to exercise them, well, then what you're going to want to do is sell them 30 to 45 days or roll them before expiration, 30 to 45 days prior. Typically, that's what I do. Or I'll just roll out. But after a year, I'll typically just sell them and look to re-enter somewhere else. And if it looks like a pullback is happening somewhere during that year, I will sell them, wait for the dip to happen, and then rebuy them again. Or I will dollar cost average and get more. This way, when the stock goes back up, I'm making even more money on these leap options. So really, you have 3 options. Roll for a debit, another 8 months to a year out when you get 30 to 45 days of expiration. Or you can, number 2, hold these right until expiration and exercise them to get the shares and be in the profit and continue to sell covered calls and accumulate shares. Or your third option is you can sell it for a profit 30 to 45 days before expiration and look to enter a different stock or re-enter Palantir. These are the options with running leaps for 8 months to a year out. And it is a very safe, consistent way to generate income. And anywhere between 100 to 150% if you keep the shares, or upwards of 2, 3, or even 4, 500% if you're selling covered calls and the stock is moving. If Palantir was to hit $120, you would make even more money. This would be a $40 move, which would be about $2,500 per leap option. So 5 times 25, 12,500 plus 1,400 a month. Let's just say you did this for 3 months. In 3 months, you double your money. That's 100% return in 3 months. That means that's a 400% per year. So if Palantir moves $40, you can easily make 400% with your covered calls. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be saying, hey, what if I get assigned? What if something happens in those calls? Well, you just roll out and up further. No stock's just going to go straight up in a straight line. So if you roll out a few weeks and up, and then roll out a few weeks and up, collecting credit along the way, you're just getting further and further from the strike price of the leap option, and you'll be in a profit even if you're assigned. Your brokerage automatically sell the shares. You'll collect the premium at, let's say, 120 on Palantir, and then you'll automatically exercise your leap option at 65 and you keep the premium in between. So if you sell a 120 call and get assigned because the stock's moved up to 120 over the next couple of months, let's say, and you end up selling a 120 and the stock goes to 130, well, it's okay to sell at 120 because 120 from 65 is a $55 difference, which is $5,500. And the leap option only costs you $3,000. So you're up $2,500. Your break even can be determined quite easily. So I'm going to show you guys how to calculate this. If we go to January and look at this $65 leap option like we did last time, it's $3,300, meaning our break even would be $98. As long as Palantir is above 98, we are at break even. So if you sell a covered call at 120 and you get assigned at 120, you're fine because then you've made $2,200 above break even. Pretty much anything over $65 plus your cost, $33, which is 98. Anything over 98 is pure profit no matter what. So these $100 calls that I'm telling you guys to sell a week or two out has zero risk. If you get assigned at 100, well, then you're making $3,500 per 100 shares, but they only cost you 33. So you're making $200 in every 100 shares plus the $35 on the covered call. The reason why this is so powerful and so safe is that we are selling our covered calls against the leap option above our break-even price. So we can't lose any money. This is very, very safe, and Palantir is a great stock to do this on. This is how I have students that you can see on the screen are making consistent profits, going from $8,000 to $40,000 in as little as 6 months. Other students going from $200K to $800K in the same time frame. Is very easy to do once you understand the technical analysis, the fundamentals, which companies to do it on, and know how to manage the trade like I was just explaining to you. If you're just getting started in the market, maybe you're struggling, maybe you're looking to retire, maybe you don't even know where to begin. I know this can be very stressful. There's psychology involved, sentiment, emotions, volatility, technicals, terms you've never even heard of. You don't even know where to begin. But don't worry, I am here to help you. That is what I enjoy doing. I told myself when I achieved financial freedom that I would help others do the same thing. I went from bankrupt only 6 years ago to being able to own my dream home. And as you can see, I am in my private theater that is in my house. I've been able to design the house exactly the way I want it because I've been able to live financially free due to options and due to stocks. And this is what I'm trying to help you achieve. You can see on the screen all the profits my students have been making with strategies just like this. I am dedicated and committed every single day to helping students just like you achieve your financial goals and dreams. And I really want to help you. If you guys are looking at joining my Discord training course and full one-on-one coaching to take advantage of all my strategies, I would love to help you. You guys can sign up at any time at investwithcorey.com. Link is in the information box below. You guys can just click on training. You'll be able to watch a video which will answer some of your questions. Then you'll be able to book a call with my team and I so that I can help you achieve your goals and dreams. And I look forward to seeing you very soon. But don't take my word for it. Let's take a listen to what my student Flute had to say. I am here with Flute Ramon, who has joined my Discord most recently. How you doing, Flute?
Thank you so much, Corey. These 6 weeks have been the best weeks of my life. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, Flute.
I started during COVID because I'm a musician and all my tour got canceled during COVID. And that's when I entered the stock market. And 2022, I think I came to options, and that's when I started losing a lot of money. And I lost a lot of money, like 90K or so.
What stood out to you most about me in comparison to anyone else?
Because I always liked the retirement strategy. And you had videos on SPY, how to retire with 10K. That was one of my goals. If I can make 10K a month. And then I was in the webinar. 15 minutes down the webinar, I saw the truth in you. When you spoke about your story, I could literally feel the truth. Then I just booked a call. I didn't wait for the webinar to get over. I found the earliest date available, booked the call. Without a mentor, I cannot win this game. I was almost this close to give it up and then focus on my music. I got lucky that I found you. Very nicely you teach it. You make it very simple, to the point. Those lesson modules are not lengthy, very, very concise. And I think even a high school student should understand all your lesson modules. They're simple, so good.
What are you up since joining? You've been in this program for 6 weeks. Year to date, you were at a negative like $90,000 loss, which I've helped you pull out of. Share your experience.
The truth is in the pudding. Why don't I share my screen? Do you see my year to date?
$51,000, 26% in 6 weeks is amazing.
Yeah.
And you were in the negative from negative 30 all the way to positive 51 in 6 weeks.
There's one more thing which I did not add. Hold on. Look at this. This is also, I just switching from Schwab to Fidelity.
Even after all the losses, you've made almost 55,000 in 6 weeks.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing, Flute.
You changed my mindset, and I am not scared looking at red. And the lessons I've learned from you this past 6 weeks have been a transformative journey for me. I owe all this success to you. It's because of your mentorship. Night and day, I can see like how I was losing and how you changed me. Everything changed after that, after your mentorship.
So you heard my student Flute had to say, if you want this to be your success story, head over to investwithcorey.com, click on training, and book a call with my team and I so that I can show you guys how to achieve your financial goals and dreams. Doesn't matter if the market's going up or going down. I have strategies to help you make money consistently all year round. Take care of yourselves, fam. I'll see you on the next upload.